Talking about a farmer from Saskatchewan, that rings a bell. Another, maybe my favorite YouTube clip ever is the Wendel clip. Have you seen the one? It's like a 5-minute montage. There's a Metallica song that is played as the bed underneath it. And it starts with Harry Neal. It's Harry Neal and giving him like the win. It's like, I'm going to give that to the kid from the farmer from Saskatchewan or whatever. I don't remember exactly how he says it. Maybe we can pull it up, Mullen. But he was early. He was 18. Like Wendel came in at 18 and had like 30 fights.
Killing
was
guys.
Fighting men, like guys at 30 with 4 kids who had a mustache for 15 years by that point, and was killing them like bomb after bomb after bomb. But
and Clarkie's not a big guy. That's the strangest part. You've been around Wendel a whole bunch. Like, yeah, I get he's got that farm strength that I clearly never did receive. But he's what is he, 5'10"?
Yeah, in a crowd, Wendel wouldn't stick out.
No,
like he's wide, he's thick, he's a thick dude. Like you could, and because we know of him and what he's all about, you're
right?
Like, no,
he appears bigger than he is because he can't. Is he 185 pounds?
I'm not sure he would be.
When he was playing and kind of like in playing shape.
I wouldn't be shocked if he came into the league at 170, 175. Yeah.
And that hit. Who did he get from St. Louis behind the net?
Oh, what the hell was his name? We talked about him so many times.
Barry something?
Yeah, he never played again.
One of the biggest hits you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, that's as big of a hit. I've never seen a bigger hit than that. Like, there's been some great hits and some big hits. That was the craziest hit. And that was against St. Louis, right?
Yep.
So, again, here we go with, rabbit holes and YouTube videos. There's another clip of, you talk about having the wrong guys on the ice. There's a great clip of Wendel. He hits John Casey, I think. Was that the name of the goalie?
The goalie for St. Louis, yeah.
Yes. So there's a clip. They're playing at the Gardens, and Wendel's, going to the net and trying to pick up a rebound. He misses it, and he just misses Casey, but he doesn't hit him. And Casey decides to be a tough guy and gives a shot to Wendel. And Wendel comes back over the top and pops him in the head and drops him. And it leads to a huge scrum. But guess who's on the ice with Wendel? Domi's out there with them.
Ooh.
So it's Wendel and Ty. And to see the Blues, you could see them all get in there. They're like, all right, guys, let's try not to do that anymore. But, we don't need to fight or anything to prove
let's
that
not
we
get
didn't
carried
like
away.
it.
But just, we're going to express our displeasure with your
actions.
actions.
That was uncalled for, Wendel. Like,
let's just be better, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. All right.
You too, Ty. And you could see Ty was so happy because it was Wendel, and he probably loved Wendel, and he was a younger guy looking up to Wendel. And it's like, all right, if these guys want to start, let's go. Like Ty and Wendel just dying to go at it. Bruce Bell was the name of the guy.
Bruce Bell. That was good. Bruce
Bell. Yeah.
My goodness, that's
his
something.
And the thing is, Wendell's gloves were off by the time he hit the ice because he knew that like the whole stadium was coming for him. Sadly, we're probably never going to see anyone like Wendel again, just because the game doesn't allow for it. There's just
Tom Wilson, closest thing.
Yeah, maybe. But does he like Wendel? We'd have to look up.
No, I know. Like nobody fights that much. Like,
no one's fighting 25
No one's going to fight 25 times.
Right.
Like nobody will do that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to. It's too dangerous.
I think Tom
But as far as
Wilson
a guy who can skate, hit, and then fight and score,
I think he's almost too big, though. I think to be fair to Wendel, what made him almost that much more endearing is that he was a smaller guy, right? Like there was. It's the same thing with Domi. Like, I just would watch Domi and all. I'm like, this guy, how is he fighting someone 6'5"? Like, and connecting and winning
He gets him in
fights.
the pinwheel of death. Right hand on the shirt, and he starts spinning around. Use that low center of gravity, tucking his head in, and he gets the off balance. I watched enough. I never participated, but I watched.
Yeah, you would have been around for a few of those.
And the best part about Ty, and I say this hey, you couldn't cut him. You could not hurt him. So when he got hit, it never looked like he was affected by it. He never got a cut, a black eye. Like, he would take punches in the face, and his skin was, for whatever reason, he just didn't bruise or cut. So it never looked like he's leather skin. I don't know what it was. It just looked like you could not hurt him. And then eventually he would wear you out. Yeah, he was another incredibly tough guy. But I think, what do you think now? Are guys bigger today or when Wendel played? I think they got bigger when I played, but I think they might almost be smaller now.
Yeah.
Like the average size and weight.
I would say the bulkiness of players today on average would be a lot lower, right?
Yeah.
Like you played an era, and I was behind you, but it was like you had to be a certain size. Like you couldn't dare, outside of someone that was so talented, like so good in the upper 4 or 5% of the league, or in the world for that matter, once you get to the NHL. So you were allowed to be a Scott Niedermayer type, or obviously Gretzky, like to use an extreme example.
Steve Sullivan.
Yeah, Sullivan, exact guys that like were. But outside of that, if you were going to play in the league, you had to put on weight. Like it was just necessary. Now I get the impression like guys are going the opposite way. Like they're not lifting weights and they're not bulking up. If anything, they're trying to thin out.
You're right. You're right.
It's a very different
even the
approach.
veteran guys are all thinking, how can I stay as strong and take 10 pounds off?
Yeah. Well, it's mostly about how you win battles now. Like it's not that there aren't body on body battles. There are scrums. There are battles in the corner. There are battles in front of the net. But now, more often than not, you win battles based on your speed, your agility, your quickness, your smarts, your stick skills. Like look at a guy like Matthews. Matthews is 6'3", 225, and he's starting to use his body a little bit more. But he's an effective checker because he's so great at puck retrieval using his stick. That's generally how he does it. He doesn't use his body a lot to win battles.
Like when I watch the new age players, when they go to check someone, where you and I would have ran right through the guy's shoulders, you already tried to. The best checkers now use their body and check through the hands. Like they skate through the guy's hands, and they control the stick that way. It's and Austin Matthews as good as anyone at doing it. He doesn't hit anybody out there, but he takes your hands and your stick away, and then he takes the puck away. So, things are changing quickly. So we might not see too many more videos like that coming out.
No.
There's not many players like Wendel at all. Tom Wilson's probably the closest comparison we can come up with.
I think you're probably right because he's got the full package. Like he is a guy that can move, he can violently hit, he can fight with anybody in the league. And you're probably right. Like Tom Wilson would be a good example of a Wendel Clark type of player.
Yeah.
As close to it as you can get right now. But even you look at a guy like Shanahan, a guy like a Ginla, a guy like Gary Roberts, that type of power forward, Rick Tocchet. Those guys always had the ability to snap if they wanted to, or if you provoked them to. Now I don't know if that is a part of the game either. Like a big guy that can score, that's always going to be a part of the game. Right. But the true kind of, this guy could rack up by the end of his career 500 or 600 goals and like a couple thousand penalty minutes. That's not likely ever going to happen either.
Well, the guys who lead the league, and I'd have to check real quick, but the guys who lead the league in penalty minutes now are 150 minutes a year. Like nobody gets 200 minutes, and most of those minutes are misconducts because no one fights enough. Even a guy who fights a ton might get 10. That's only 50 minutes. Right. You don't pick up 50 minor penalties. So guys who get 200 minutes in penalties, which aren't anybody anymore, it's all misconducts and 10s. So. The likelihood of 400 goals and 2,000 assists, that's 10 years of 200 minutes.
Yep.
It's almost not there.
No, it's likely not going to be there.